Spain experienced its golden age due to imperialism and became the largest empire of that time.
The reason the conquistadors went to the Americas was to find gold, earn glory, and spread their faith. In Africa, their main goal was the slave trade, and in the Philippines, they mostly traded goods, and converting to Catholicism was welcomed as well.
Trade routes were very important to Spain, as acquiring goods and gold helped to expand their vast empire. During this time, Spain was referenced to as the place where the sun never sets in light of their vast colonialism.
Since transportation across land was expensive, the Spanish turned to travel by ship for long-distance trade, but on land, horses were their main mode of transportation.
When the Spanish traveled to the Americas, the indigenous peoples were introduced to horses, livestock such as cows and pigs, crops like wheat, barley, and sugarcane, advanced weapons such as steel swords and firearms, glass, beading, and metal from the Spanish, as well as diseases like smallpox. However, the Spanish acquired crops such as cocoa beans, cacao beans, those are the same thing, coffee beans, potatoes, tobacco, corn, gold and silver, and a disease called syphilis. Bows, arrows, and slings of the natives had little effect against horse-mounted Spanish forces wielding steel swords and firearms. The European policies of colonialism and imperialism were designed to extend a nation's authority, power, and influence by territorial gain and by the establishment of economic and political dominance. The discovery of the New World provided new lands and opportunities for Spain and the Spanish in America, including their fervor to convert the indigenous population to the Christian and the Roman Catholic religion. Spanish interaction with the indigenous peoples of the Americas included the teachings of growing the native crop.
Sea routes were very popular and important to Spanish colonialism for trade. Ferdinand Magellan led the first circumnavigation of the globe from the Spice Islands to Spain. The Treaty of Tordesillas allowed for a lot of Spanish imperialism to occur, as it gave them the rights to the New World in Eastern Asia. The Philippines, Carolina Islands, and Mariana Islands were of the most important Spanish territories in Pacific Asia. Antonio de Mendoza commissioned the expedition of Rey Lopez de Villalobos to the Philippines in 1542 to 1543 to encourage trade. The important trade link, the Manila-Acapulco galleons, was established in the maritime trade route from the Philippines to Mexico. Silk, spices, silver, gold, and other Asian Pacific products were shipped to Mexico via this link. Spanish-Mexican colonists brought Hispanic and indigenous customs to the region, including religion, food, and customs. Other smaller trading regions were created, but the Spanish mostly did not attempt to colonize them, although some acted as port cities. All control of the Spanish East Indies was transferred to Madrid from the new Spanish viceroyalty following the Mexican War of Independence. The Katipunan Filipino revolutionaries, led by Andres Bonifacio, fought against Spain and became the first independent Asian country in 1895. Spanish loanwords entered native language, and many natives used Spanish names and surnames, as many tools, products, crops, and technology were introduced by Spain. Spanish rule caused Guam and the Philippines to link, and many of the northern Mariana Islands' population has Filipino descent.
The Atlantic slave trade was one of the major processes that linked Africa to the larger Atlantic world. Because of this, Spain decided to use Africa as a source of labor, because of the success and popularity of the Atlantic slave trade. However, when Spain colonized certain countries in Africa, which was known as Morocco, they traded not only slaves but tobacco and spices, which helped their flavor of their food and also in their production use of their plantains. African gained manufactured products, especially firearms, in which they used for the military. Spain used African slaves, in which they worked in their sugar plantations and silver mines, which then led to Spain being introduced to cotton and ivory.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Because several European countries at the time were trying to colonize Africa, there was little trust that Africa shared with Spain. And this little trust, that which was said, led to the hesitance towards Spain and a lack of communication. Interaction between Spain and Africa was limited because they did not have mutual respect and had lacking of each other's intentions and purposes, which then caused the communication to be only if it was very necessary.
Someone believing that they must bring their Christian beliefs to the people of the New World. They thought God would reward them for spreading their faith. For example, Pizarro wanted to spread Catholicism and save the savage souls in the Americas.
The Spanish missions deeply affected their colonies, as many Filipinos remain Roman Catholic and many Native Americans remain Christian to this day. Priests would travel in groups in Spanish America, converting a local citizen to become the head for the village and teach them the ways of Jesus and baptism.
What was your favorite part? Mine too! This is what every place Spain tried to colonize said. Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping. Swiper, no swiping. Aw, man. Because she's a conquistadora. Okay.